Hello, Abigail here with the Tarotscopes for Libra season, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, my Aries, this is your oppositional season. This is the season that is across from you. You are the spring. This is the fall. Also, welcome to the autumnal equinox. We are finally in autumn. But Libra season and the energy, and this is, yes, a tarot reading, and you can also look at the astrology video I've done for this month, but just kind of so you just know if you decide not to watch that, kind of what's happening. We have come off of the eclipses, and thank goodness for you, your ruler Mars in Scorpio, which is your fellow Martian sign. So there is a lot of kind of fluency in this season for you. However, because of the opposition, we are still dealing with some tricky things. Also, we have Neptune still in Aries, and it is, retrograde, headed back towards Pisces, but you're still dealing with this kind of ambiguity and honestly a heightened inner world where the outer world might feel a bit stuck. So just know that this is the vibe of Libra season. There is progress, but there is also still an element of being held back. Also, don't forget we just came off the eclipses, and so we're still dealing with that 2 weeks in. There's Jupiter trines coming up. There's a lot going on. I encourage you to check out the astrology video, but if you don't, just know that there's like an interesting combination of like stuckness and confrontation with that opposition. And also, your ruling planet is making some things a little easier. But starting off, I really love this for you all. It's very much an archetype that you guys all fall in, which is the eternal child. And this is about reconnecting to innate desire and to impulse and instinct, all things that you are very good at, but the eclipses did kind of gunk that up for a lot of us. So allowing that fluency back in. And when I'm thinking of the eternal child, I'm not thinking of the adult who is regressive, who still wants to be a child. I am thinking of someone who is spontaneous and interested and has unfiltered responses and, quick to anger, quick to laugh, that type of energy, not not Peter Pan adult people. And the season is calling you back to parts of yourself. Also, in the Northern Hemisphere, especially, the autumn is kind of a time of nostalgia and of retrospection and of slowing down. And so allow yourself to slow down and to take the day in, as innate a way as possible throughout the fall, doing things spontaneously, picking something up and looking at it that you're curious about out in public. I think sometimes we get so caught up in society and perception that we forget to just live and to just enjoy. And this is a call back for you to step back into simple enjoyment and basic pleasure and um, throwing off the feeling of surveillance and constant visibility that we all experience. And obviously, the surveillance thing is actually true and real, but returning to living within personal freedom in a society that is innately restricting and picky and violent and judgmental, it's time to throw that off again, to make sure it hasn't gotten a hold, to release into a lighter, more not there's no tomorrow, but understanding the value of today, which children are very good at. When when something doesn't happen on the day, kiddos will often have meltdowns or really struggle to progress. Maybe we don't bring that in because that would be hard to live in, but that feeling like this is the day and this is a very special day that I think we often lose as an adult is something coming in. So see if you can't add that in, bring this lightness back into yourself in spite of what's going on. I'm not saying to ignore it. I'm just saying to harness different energy. Starting off, we do have a Two of Swords. There are options, there are choices in Libra season that you're going to be continuing to make. It feels like there are going to be a series of choices that are crossroads that are going to be leading you somewhere. Where that is, I don't think any of us are going to know until we get to the other side of Libra season. But this is about you picking what is best for you, picking what is enjoyable and interesting to you, rather than referencing what you should be doing or what is acceptable to do or what other people think is best for you. Libra season is a time to make choices, to rebalance the scales, not for what is considered normal, but what is considered best for you as a person. Um, Feels like there's a lot of energy of rewilding in Libra season for you, which is interesting because Libra season is ruled by Venus and often considered this kind of balanced, more placid sign, but Venus is not placid. Venus loves to love and to embrace the things that they love and to enjoy them. So infuse that tenderness of Venus into kind of the intensity of your Martian experience to kind of bring this full circle energy background and find a path forward that works best for you as you head into the fall and then eventually into, the winter, which I know we're just starting fall, but it tends to come pretty fast. Then next we have the Queen of Swords, and this is very much that kind of Venus in Libra energy that is going to be a good portion of the season. Also, Venus rules Libra. It is time to really connect with instinct and intuition, really echoing that eternal child card, but in this way, it's a little more activated and goal oriented and focused on balancing. A lot of people like to use Libra. There's a good Libra new moon to start stuff. My only thing when working with Libra energy is make sure that when you start something, there is a balance that is acceptable to begin with. Because if you start off with a skewed scale, those scales will rebalance around the midpoint of that situation versus the midpoint of what is functional for you. So just be aware in this season as you're picking paths, as you're committing to things, as you're planning things, pick a point of balance that is functional long term. Pick a point of balance that will help you have direction and focus moving forward rather than just loading everything up and doing everything. That's kind of the trick with working with domicile planets is they're wonderful and lovely and great energy, but it can end up leaving you with a lot of things to do in a short period of time or just a lot of energy in a very specific place. So this season is about balancing those things out. It's about spreading out things you're planning to do, diversifying things, making sure that you're giving equal energy to the things that rely on each other. If you have something you're doing that relies on something else, don't neglect the something else this season. Stay focused, stay connected. We do have the Hanged Man. There is this sense of delay. This is very much just having the sun in opposition to your sign. It kind of pulls us back. It makes us confront things. It makes us redo and reconsider. That is also an energy this season as you are planning. You won't just be able to move forward completely with the sun opposition. You will have to consider the whys and the hows and what you'd like to do. Not quite in a Virgo way, although we do still have Venus in Virgo for a minute. But in the sense of making sure that what you're pursuing, what you're driving towards is truly what you want and not just kind of a benchmark that was casually set a while ago that we've kind of hung on to. Make sure that we are investing in things that are meant to last. And part of, I think, the delays are for temperance's sake, to help you rebalance and re-regulate. This is the card of Sagittarius. This is about passion and drive and internal fire, but the ability to kind of learn to keep that fire going at a consistent rate, to keep that flow of energy kind of centralized, but also movable. It also makes me wonder if some of you wouldn't do well to implement energetic exercises like playing with your aura or working on the flow of chi in your body. A lot of these things can really help with the emotional side of things if we are doing the energetic side of things. If anyone wants more information on that, you can always pop a question below and I can explain it further, but I don't want to spend this whole video explaining how to flex your aura and how to channel, do basic channeling things with energy in the body. And then last but not least, we have the Chariot. In spite of all the internal stuff you're having to do, there is external progress. Things are moving forward. We're heading into a new season. This is a new era. We are out of the eclipses. This is also giving very Jupiter in Cancer energy, which is spurring us forward. But this also is in a nice big square with words. Aries, and with Libra. So that's also where that stuckness comes, is that Jupiter is kind of getting squared off to by a lot of placements in your personal chart, by the planets that are transiting. And so there is this feeling of push and pull within this chariot moment of progress, delay, progress, delay, progress, delay, which is kind of pretty exemplified in these cards with us having two air cards and then these two cards of kind of having to deal with and manage things in the moment. But don't give up hope. You will get moving, especially once we move through kind of the preliminary part of Libra season where we have the runoff from the eclipses, where we have all of this grand trine energy with the major outer planets. But just be gentle with yourself. And when you do kind of feel a bit far afield, do not forget our little friend, the eternal child. It will be a source of comfort and energetic refill if you can tap back into that kind of childish delight and joy in the midst of having to navigate all these very adult and life subjects. Anyways, my loves, this is my reading for the season. I don't know if you can hear it. My dog is choking outside the door. He's okay. He has collapsed trachea. It's an issue he's had since he's been a baby, but it sounds rough, and I can't tell if you can hear it or not. So I don't want anyone to worry about Reggie. Anyways, this is my reading for Libra season, blessed autumnal equinox. Um, Pop any questions below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in a different place and time.